Hello everyone, it's me Varus and we're back with another video. This is going to be a pretty short one, but it's going to be a pretty interesting one as we'll go over the tropics. A big cold blast coming into the US later this week with some moderation before signs of an even bigger one to come later this month. So it's going to be a very fun video. If you do enjoy, please consider subscribing and liking. Let's get right into it. So starting off with surface analysis, if you did watch my video prior to this one I made yesterday, we're watching a pretty big cold front extending anywhere from Ontario, Quebec, all the way down through Texas. Okay, more of a cold front once you get north and east of, I'd say, Memphis, Tennessee. Okay, that's where it's really taking shape. But even down here, you'll still feel the difference. So let's zoom in and see some temperature differences right now. So if we get closer, it is kind of evening time, so you won't see as drastic, but you can see like 88 right here in southern Texas, 82 over here. Overall, it's not too drastic. If you did see my video yesterday, though, you can see it was a really drastic change. 60s. Tomorrow morning, it should be an even better example. I mean, you do have one here, like 71 right here, 68 right here, 66, 74 down here, 67. All right, my bad. But you'll see a better example once we go through the day. But we'll keep watching this as it continues to drape southeastward, and we're gonna get into some short range guidance in the next couple videos, and I'll show you how sharp this front looks like. We might even go through this video, and then behind it, another reinforcing cold front that'll really plunge these temperatures. I mean, even through Minnesota, early evening, already dipping into the lower 40s and 30s for some. I like to get a better look at this through dew points. So this, honestly, you don't even need short range. You can see it clearly through here. Gets a little more, you could say, spotty as you cross kind of Memphis. Like, you can see it's really defined through here. It doesn't mean it's not going to get cooler. It definitely will. But if we continue this, you can see it clears most of the northeast by October 8th. Okay, there's some return flow overall because, again, we're still in October, so there's still some tropical flow that's backing into this cold front as it drapes southeastward, and so this will cause still a cooling feel. Like, it will definitely get a little less humid in portions of Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas. However, this tropical moist return flow is kind of gonna, you could say, buffer that. Okay, you can see, I'll go through the frames. You'll see the northeast easily get cleared by, this is what, Thursday, October 9th, easily cleared, but you still see some higher dew points even like through here in yellow. So it really affects the central and northeastern US. Not saying it won't get down, but I mean, it does make it pretty far south, even through portions of the southeast, and even starts to bleed into Texas. But overall, very nice cold blast. It's transient though, won't stay for long. And then this one is another really big cold blast. This, I'm going to show you some signs why this could actually happen. This October 20th, GFS has been insistent. This gets everywhere through the entire south, central, through the northeast later on. And then, I mean, even in the west, some big one comes right through again. So it's going to get really fall-like. Why are we seeing that signal on October 20th? We have this one typhoon right here, located just off the coast of Japan. It's expected to recurve, okay? And as we go through, you see it does miss Japan, could skim Japan by Eastern time, October 9th. But you'll see how it merges with this big trough, and right there, you see it gets swung up in Alaska. What does that do? It causes troughing west of Alaska. So it causes troughing here, allows a Aleutian ridge to really build, ridge of high pressure, negative EPO, forces this cooler air down here, so it is sharp, and then you got this other ridge right through the east. However, if I continue this, you'll see that cool blast does try to that typhoon take some cooler heights over at Alaska. You might think, oh, negative or positive, that would represent a positive EPO. No, that's because you still have this ridge through here. Now, what this is going to do, it's going to continue to shift westward. The more westward it shifts, the more the southeast ridge gets beaten down and heads out, and this cooler air is able to bleed further east. And so, watch as I continue to go through. You see that ridge get way west. It starts building in Alaska too. It's really, really weak. That's why there's some low confidence with this. But I mean, you even have a trough, or technically this would be a hurricane. You have a overall ridge through here, and then this big dip. Okay, that's forcing cooler air down. Even if it was a positive EPO, there's a strong negative NAO signal that's forcing this cooler air down. You have this trough right here, which continues to kind of already go streamlined with this ridge. And I mean, if we continue this, you see that trough really get deep. At that point, you have another illusion high trying to build. This is really west, so it causes a little trough. This could just kind of just a little disturbance as the ridge continues out in the west and forces cooler air down. Like, that is a very, very impressive cool blast right there. And there's your ridge there, tries to sustain. You do see this disturbance that causes a negative PNA try to take back over, but you still see some troughing there. It's a very interesting pattern, but I'm watching that October 20th time frame. If that typhoon makes, I forgot the name, but if it does make a really good sharp but broad turn and catches up with this trough, it could easily force down a pretty big cool blast that may not last for too long, maybe 4 or 5 days, but still could lead to first frosts, freezes, and would really start setting the tone for late fall. As even in later time frames, you can see how continuous troughs continue to come through. Even with this negative PNA, it's fall time. You're gonna have this ridging up here, this ridging in Alaska that's can constantly shift east and west, and that will determine negative PNAs and transient troughs or long-lasting troughs. So we'll have to see how that continues. So let's step aside from temperatures, weather, or not weather, but temperatures and some forecasts. Let's talk about tropics. Main storm aside from yesterday is we have Tropical Storm Jerry that has formed in the Eastern Atlantic, or the main development region. Currently moving just west at 23 miles per hour. Has been moving more west than guidance. Originally was expected to miss these islands. However, now this westerly track is going to cause it to get just a tad closer through the northern Leeward Islands. It's going to turn it back north, and fortunately will turn back out to sea far enough from Bermuda. Now, this cone could get it close enough to Bermuda. Either way, some outer bands are still possible, so I'd still say watch out, Bermuda. But especially these northern Leeward Islands, U.S. Virgin Islands, under tropical storm watches, as it has been trending a little more west. And if it is a hurricane by this side and its size is grown big enough, we'll have to watch. It could take the southern threat and actually eat a landfall. So we'll have to see through Jerry. It's not a fish storm, but it wouldn't be any main threat for the mainland U.S. It's easily going to recurve out to sea. So no worries for the East U.S. Just islands and Bermuda. Keep a close eye. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys right back tomorrow with the next one.